Hi, I'm Zachary Farnell. Thank you for joining me for another edition of your Timberlane Weather Update. We're in a little bit of a weather lull right now, dealing with some very warm temperatures over the last couple days, expecting those to come back, resurface this weekend, pushing towards 70 degrees Saturday, especially Sunday, on the tail end of a severe weather outbreak, across much of the central and southern U.S. Those thunderstorms may reach as far north as New Jersey and New York. Will break down what exactly we can expect over the next couple days and how our weather will relate to that system in general. I mentioned those very, very warm temperatures. You see them just surging across much of the central part of the country. This is yesterday. Not as warm of a day for us, back in towards the 40s yesterday. Same deal today, a little bit of warmer over the next couple days. We're expecting much of this warmth to really push into our neck of the woods across New England and overall really warm us up, but we're really getting in towards springtime. Those very, very warm temperatures pushing towards 90, 95 degrees in towards the desert part of Texas. That's how you know we're officially into the warm season. Overnight, those really warm temperatures actually stuck around in towards the deep south. Many of those areas did not get below 60, 65 overnight. We certainly did, down towards freezing again tonight. One of those days that we're probably not going to see for the next couple of weeks. And again today, in towards the 40s, not a particularly warm day, but you see much of this warmth just being held outside the northeast, and a lot of that has to do with cloud cover. So again, temperatures right now across the area and the United States today on Thursday, very warm all the way up towards the Canadian border. I mentioned those clouds. You can see them on the satellite in towards the New England area. Those are staving off much of the chance of those temperatures really warming up over the next 24 hours. Those will begin to move away as we get towards overnight tonight and into tomorrow. We will see a cloudy Sunday and Monday, but until then, expect some sunshine generally across the mid section of the United States. Very clear, very sunny, and generally very warm. This will change as we get towards tomorrow. We see this humongous low pressure system, no other way to describe it other than completely dominant. This will move into the area on Friday. You're going to see this come over the Rockies, near Colorado, and it'll end up in the Great Plains, where it will quickly strengthen into one of the strongest storms we've seen in this area in a while. It's not unprecedented, but it is certainly a sight to behold. You see this thing really spinning up, kicking up a lot of precipitation across the western United States. A whole lot of snow across the mountainous areas, but you're beginning to see some of this rain building in towards the Midwest. This is day one of the severe weather threat. You're going to see right now a snapshot on Friday, tomorrow. Generally, this doesn't look too bad in terms of storm coverage, but this is early on in the day, and so as we get towards the mid and late part of the day, overnight especially, this will kick up a very, very strong severe weather threat that we will look at a little bit later. But look towards the Midwest, Mid-South, and generally central United States for the greatest threat. Illinois, Missouri, especially the real target of this one. And I mean, this thing just continues to strengthen as we get towards Saturday, completely dominating the middle part, the eastern part of the United States as well. No other systems in here really. This thing almost looks like an octopus. It's got just about 8 arms of fronts that are extending out of it. You're seeing 3 separate cold fronts across the western tier, a stationary and a warm front across the eastern tier, and you're already seeing some of those thunderstorms that kicked off on Friday, continuing into Saturday. There will likely be 1 to 2 rounds of severe thunderstorms in towards the south. The second round will be especially severe Saturday night, where very large and strong to violent tornadoes are possible across this area. So this area is really the target that we're looking for more severe weather on Saturday. Luckily for us, we are not warm enough to be dealing with much severe weather. We will definitely be seeing some of this rain as we get towards Sunday now on the fronts map. You see that massive storm kind of begin to split off, one to the north, one to the south. This one to the south, don't get me wrong, it's still strong, and you're still seeing a whole lot of fronts associated with it, cooling down the central United States behind it, bringing some rain to wash out much of that warmth. But for us, not a whole lot going on just yet. Some general thunderstorms, possibly some severe across the eastern seaboard as we get towards Sunday, but it's a little bit too far out to really see exactly what that could look like. So we're going to break down the severe weather right now just because we're in a bit of a weather lull, and while this is a very, very dangerous situation across the central United States, if you have any family in anywhere such as, again, I mentioned Missouri, especially the eastern part of Missouri, much of Illinois will be under the gun, parts of Iowa, you're looking at areas into the mid to deep south, even northern Mississippi, parts of Alabama in towards Arkansas and Tennessee, seeing some of that threat on Friday. Where the red area is, that's where you're seeing the most significant threat. That is a risk 4 out of 5. So this is the second highest risk that the Storm Prediction Center gives for severe weather expected. So this red area is going to be the worst of it. Then the orange, still expected to be bad. The yellow behind it, also expecting some impacts, but the worst of it will likely be in the red. How this will go throughout some of the afternoon and evening hours, we're expecting, although not super warm or moist air in towards the northern section of the country, it will be generally warm enough to kick up enough thunderstorms that they will form a line. And as that line moves through this area, that is where we're expecting the worst of the severe weather, expecting a very large squall line to go and track possibly several hundred miles, causing damaging wind gusts, a chance for some hail, and you cannot rule out some isolated tornadoes within that line, although if you really want to see strong, potentially, although not likely, violent tornadoes, you need to go down south in towards Arkansas and Tennessee. That will be your greatest threat, even Mississippi. That will be your greatest threat for a strong tornado as we get towards Friday. So again, mostly wind-driven, expect wind gusts over 70 miles an hour with this line, but once that line moves through, it'll likely be done for you. The worst of it, again, in towards Missouri and Illinois. Then we move towards Saturday, and this is the one that I personally am most concerned about. Again, that red area now in towards the south. Under the gun, places like New Orleans, Mobile, Jackson, Birmingham, even in towards Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana will be dealing with the worst of it. Then that orange area stretches all the way up into Georgia and Tennessee. That is where you're also expecting some pretty severe weather, and that yellow extends all the way up into parts of Ohio and Pennsylvania, West Virginia. Places like that can also expect some severe weather, but not nearly as significant. Why I'm most concerned about this day today is because we're not expecting the thunderstorms to form a line. When the thunderstorms form a line, the tornado risk is decreased. However, when the thunderstorms can stay isolated and essentially by themselves, working in an environment this ripe, we're expecting the moisture to be near perfect for the thunderstorms across the deep south on Saturday. And that's why I expect this day, Saturday, especially into Saturday night, will be the worst of it, where we will likely see a pretty strong tornado outbreak across much of the deep south in towards the mid-south. So again, if you have family in anywhere such as Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and even towards Georgia and Tennessee, even as far north as Ohio, they all need to stay weather alert, weather aware, and make sure that they know where they need to go in case a tornado does strike. With all of that out of the way, let's begin breaking down our 5-day and extended forecast. So again, we'll run through this real quick. Pretty cool today, but we see the warm-up begin tomorrow. Friday and Saturday, generally sunny, pushing towards the mid to upper 50s. As we get towards Sunday, though, the heat surges in front of that big low-pressure system that's bringing the severe weather tomorrow and Saturday. We're going to see it generally be cloudy with temperatures pushing towards 70. Overnight lows may not get below 55. That is certainly not out of the question. Then the showers begin overnight on Sunday, turning into a general steady rain much of the day on Monday. Still, those temperatures pretty warm in towards 60, but you're seeing the overnight lows dipping back down towards the mid-30s. Cooling off a little bit next Tuesday, very sunny though, and generally pretty warm with those temperatures in the mid-50s. Continuing that pattern through Wednesday, Thursday, and seeing a little bit of a cool off. On Friday of next week, we are seeing, again, generally mid-50s Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, a little bit of a cool off, and Saturday and Sunday we see it return back to some moderate 50s with generally partly cloudy to sunny skies through all of next week. That, of course, with the exception of Monday, in which we are expecting a pretty significant rainfall event. So again, stay weather alert, weather aware. We may see a rumble of thunder or two next Sunday or next Monday. Then again, it's not 100%, and we will not be seeing any significant weather from it. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Zachary Farnell. Stay alert in the Midwest and the Deep South. And again, signing off.